Hi everybody, it's Katie and I am back with a video today making a card for this week's Retro Rubber Challenge. The challenge for this 2-week period is a FlashBack Valentine challenge where we are asking you to go back in your archives and find a Valentine card you made and recreate it. Breathe some new life into it. Maybe you have some new papers or new supplies. Anything like that would be fun. So this is the card that I've made. This is the new card that I am showing on the Retro Rubber blog, and there are links in the bottom of this video so you can go and check it out and submit your own card. This is the card that I made about 5 years ago that I am recreating. And I've got my goodies here, some dies and some papers, and this stamp set from Paper Tray Ink is the signature greetings, what I'm going to use today. And I've just got my card base here, which is cream Paper Tray Ink cardstock. And I had this fun velvety ribbon in my Valentine paper stash. And I'm using my ATG gun and just to adhere it to the front of the cream cardstock. This is kind of going to be my long panel on the side or long element on the side. And then I'm just trimming the back off a little bit. And I'll adhere it later on here. And then I've got this cute lined pattern paper and I'm going to mat it onto red cardstock. This is probably some cherry cardstock. And this will kind of be the main image panel on the front of the card. And I'm not really sure how I like it, if I like it at this point, but moving on, I pulled out my dies that I'm going to cut the hearts with, and I've got some vellum paper, and this paper is just, I ripped out of a old book, and then I've got some cork sheets that I've picked up from my favorite things, and I ran them through the Big Shot, and so I've got a variety of hearts here that I can work with for my card. And pulling back to the main image, I decided that this panel was just too big. It kind of overwhelmed, and I wanted something a little bit different, so I cut a smaller piece of that pattern paper and a smaller piece of the red cardstock, and I used my scallop edge die to put a little bit of something on the side of that red cardstock, just some different visual effect. And being a smaller piece, I think that this works a lot better and it's not overwhelming the front of my card. And I decided that I wanted to stamp the sentiment before I got going on anything else so that I didn't mess anything up or get ink on anything else. So I'm using the same sentiment that I used on the first card, which is I love you so very much, from the signature greetings from Paper Tray Ink. I love this stamp set, and you probably see it a lot on my cards because the font is just so perfect. And I stamped it with Memento ink there on the bottom of the card base. There you go, beautiful. And then I decided to put everything together, use my ATG gun here to put this little piece on. And I wasn't really sure about the rest of this stuff. This cork is very brittle, and so you have to be very careful how you adhere it. And the paper from the book is also very brittle. And so I didn't want to be trying to get my ATG gun on there. So I'm going to use some bigger glue dots from these glue dot sheets. And this quick stick pen, seriously, I don't know how I've lived without this thing. It's just, who thinks of these things? And why is it not me? I don't know. I think this is just like sticky tack on the end of this. But it's amazing. And then at the other end, it comes out and there's two little parts so that when you're sticking your thing down, you can hold it down with the one side. One is really pointed and one is kind of flat. And I'm going to be using the flat one to pick up the glue dots and stick them onto the cork and this paper, just simply because they're too hard to do the other way. I'll show you what I usually do with the vellum. And the glue dots, I mean, they stick to everything anyway, and so they're hard to get on and off. And anyway, I got them on there. I got them on the back of the cork and adhered it to the front of my card. picking them up, laying them down. There we go. And then I just did the same thing with this paper because it's so thin. You can't just put it right onto the glue dot and rip it off. I'm afraid it would have ripped the paper and then I would have been stuck. However, the vellum cardstock is a little bit thicker and heavy dutier, so I just stuck that right on the glue dot and then used it to pull the glue dot up. And that's normally what I do with embellishments when I'm using the glue dots, but the little stickum thing is awesome. So I'm going to use these little wooden embellishments from Stampin' Up. I found a heart in there and I thought it would be kind of cute to pop it on there. And after I did, I was like, oh, well, that kind of messed up the rules of 3, huh? I got 4 hearts on there. Oh, well, no big deal, right? Yeah, no big deal. Okay, anyway, I got my card base here, which is a regular A2 size card base, and I'm just going to score it in half. And this is still the cream cardstock from Paper Tray Ink. And I just used my scoring tool and folded it in half. And then I picked up the front of the card and decided that I wanted to put those little flaps back, and I'm just going to stick some ATG tape there. I wasn't really sure how I was going to mount this to the front of the card, just because they're kind of thick, that velvet ribbon, but I'm using some mounting tape, and it'll just kind of pop it up a little bit onto the front of the card, and yet adhere it really well. So there we go. Let's peel those off and stick it on the front of the card. Now, if you've never been around to the Retro Rubber Challenge blog, again, I've got links in the bottom of this video, and I would hope that you guys would head over there and check it out and see what we're all about. So there's my old card and my new card. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great Tuesday. Bye.